Hi everyone, and welcome back to First the Coffee Crochet. In this video we're going to go over how to make a very easy and simple double crochet blanket pattern. So this pattern just consists of using double crochet stitch and the single crochet stitch, and you'll also be using chain spaces. And we will go over how to do those stitches in this tutorial. So this crochet pattern is written in US terms, and the finished size is 48 inches wide by 58 inches high, or about 122 centimeters by 147 centimeters. If you want to change the width, the initial foundation chain needs to be a multiple of 12 plus 11. And if you want to change the height of the blanket, you can change the number of times the repeat rows, which are rows 4 through 11, are done. And each repeat section of those rows will add about 4 inches in height to the blanket. The start of the row does not use initial turning chains. Instead, we're going to start our rows with a single crochet in the first stitch, and then we're going to do another single crochet on top of that first single crochet, so it'll be a stacked single crochet. In this way, we get a nice straight edge instead of a little bump out from the turning chain. Row 1 is worked in the back loop of the foundation chain. And for the foundation chain, you will want to chain loosely, or you can use a bigger hook size by only going up like 0.5 millimeters or 1 millimeter, and this will help make your chain bigger, and that will make it not scrunch up, making one side smaller than the other. And the swatch size, which is 4 inches by 4 inches, is 13 stitches by 8 rows of double crochet stitches. To make this blanket, you'll need 1,932 yards of a number 4 medium weight yarn, and if you want to add the repeat sections to the blanket, each section repeat will require about another 138 yards of the yarn. So I used the Lion Brand Pound of Love yarn when making this blanket, and as written, without adding any repeat rows, it used about 2 skeins, and I did use the color Sugar Cookie for the one that is in the pictures. And in this tutorial I will be using the color Waterfall. You'll also need a 6 millimeter crochet hook. Stitch markers are optional, a yarn needle to weave in your ends, and a pair of scissors. And as always, there is a written pattern available on my website, and I will leave a link for that down in the description below. So let's go ahead and get started. To start out, we're going to want to create our slip knot. Okay, to start out, we're going to want to chain 155. You want to do these loosely. There is an option if you have a hard time doing loose chains. You can go up a hook size, either to a 6.5 or a 7 millimeter, to make sure your chains are nice and loose. So we're just going to do that chain of 155. Okay, so once we have our chain, when we're going back across for row 1, we're going to be working in the back bumps. So you have your chain as you normally would work them. Usually you go through this top little loop here, but if you turn it, you'll see these back bump loops. So we're going to be working in those. And with this blanket, we're going to be doing stacked double crochets at the first part of the rows, and that is starting on row 1, so we're going to do this a little differently. Normally you start in the second or third chain from your hook, but this time we're going to be starting in the first one, so that's this one right here. So what I'm going to do for this video is I'm going to put stitch markers in the first and second one so you can easily see what we're getting into here. Okay, so I'm going to find that first back loop here, put that one in. And then on the second one, I'm going to put that in. So as we're starting out here, in this first one, we're going to do a single crochet. So we got our first, and this one's our second, but we're going to be starting in this one. And we're just going to do a single crochet into that back loop. So we're just going to insert our hook, yarn over and pull up a loop. That's going to give us 2 loops on our hook. And we're going to yarn over and pull through both loops on our hook. Now for the stacked double crochet, we're going to be going through these 2 loops that were on our hook that we pulled our yarn through. So we're just going to take our hook, go right between the 2 of those all the way through, and do another single crochet. And then yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook there. So this is going to count as a double crochet. And what these do is give us a nice straight edge as we go up, instead of having to bump out for extra turning chains or an extra large space between chains and our next double crochet. So now we have our second one that we marked off here, and we're going to do a double crochet into this one. So we're going to take this out, and we're just going to yarn over, and then we're going to insert a hook into that second chain, yarn over and pull up a loop. That's going to give us 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through 2. We'll have 2 loops remaining, and then yarn over and pull through 2. And now we're just going to do this all the way down our chain. Just yarn over, insert your hook into that back bump, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2 again. So just do that in each chain all the way down your foundation chain. You can go ahead and pause the video, and I'll meet you back here at the end of row 1. So once you're at the end, you should have 155 stitches all the way across, because we did start in that first chain, so you won't have any stitches taken off from your chain. You should have the same number of stitches as you had in chains of your foundation chain. For rows 2 and 3, both are going to be the same, and it's just going to be double crochet. So to start these out, we're going to be doing a stacked single crochet to make our first double crochet. So you'll turn, and then in that first stitch here, we're going to do 1 single crochet, and then do a single crochet between the 2 bars of the single crochet you just made. Right, and then we're just going to do double crochets in each stitch all the way across our row. And again, this is for rows 2 and 3. So you're just going to do double crochet in each stitch all the way across, and then repeat the same exact row for row 3 as you've done for row 2 here. So you can go ahead and pause the video, and I'll meet you back here at the end of row 3. So once you're at the end of row 3, starting at row 4, this is where we're going to start our main repeat block for the rest of the blanket. So for row 4, you're going to turn your work. Once again, we're going to do a stacked single crochet for our first stitch. So in that first stitch, you're just going to do 1 single crochet, and then do a single crochet between the 2 bars of the stitch you just made. Then in the next stitch, you're going to do a double crochet. So then you're going to chain 1. We're going to skip the next stitch, and then over the next 2 stitches after that, we're going to do a double crochet in each of those 2 stitches. And that's what you're going to repeat across the rest of this row. Is chain 1, skip a stitch, and then do a double crochet in each of the following 2 stitches. You can go ahead and pause the video, and I'll meet you back here at the end of row 4. So at the end of row 4, you should be ending on the second double crochet of your repeat across this row. For row 5, we're going to be doing double crochets all the way back across. So you'll turn your work, and then we'll be doing one of the stacked single crochets again for our first stitch. So go ahead and insert your hook into the first stitch, do 1 single crochet, and then single crochet into the stitch you just made. And then in the next stitch, do a double crochet, and then double crochet into the next chain space. And just double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and just repeat that all the way across. So you'll just double crochet into the chain space, and then double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. So for row 6, we're going to turn our work, and again, to start out the row, we're going to do a stack single crochet. So insert your hook into that first stitch, do a single crochet, and then single crochet into the stitch you just made. So this one's going to be sort of like row 4, but instead of doing 2 double crochets in a space, we're going to be doing 3 double crochets in a space. So this will count as our first double crochet, and then we're going to do a double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Then we're going to chain 1, skip the next stitch, and then do a double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. And that's just going to be the repeat for the rest of this row. So you'll chain 1, skip a stitch, and then a double crochet in each of the following 3 stitches. You can go ahead and pause the video, and I'll meet you back here at the end of row 6. So at the end of row 6, you should be on the 3rd and last double crochet of your row repeat. Now for row 7, we're going to do the same thing as we did in row 5, and that's just going to be double crochets all the way across in stitches and chain spaces. So for row 7, we're just going to turn our work. Starting in that first stitch, we're going to do a stack single crochet. And then we're just going to do a double crochet in each stitch or chain space all the way across. Okay, so for row 8, we're going to do the same thing as we did for row 4, which is the 2 double crochets and skipping a space. So to start out row 8, we're going to do a stack single crochet like we've done in previous rows. So just do a single crochet into your first stitch, and then do a single crochet into that stitch you just made. Then in the next stitch, we're going to do a double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch, and then do a double crochet in each of the following 2 stitches. And just repeat that all the way across. Chain 1, skip a stitch, and then a double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So you can go ahead and pause the video, and I'll meet you back here at the end of row 8. Okay, so for rows 9, 10, and 11, we're just going to be doing the double crochet rows again. So that's for the next 3 rows through row 11. To start out each of these rows, just going to start out each row with a stacked single crochet on that first stitch. You just single crochet into the first stitch, and then single crochet into the stitch you just made, and then just do a double crochet in each stitch or chain space all the way across. So just do that for the next 3 rows up through row 11. Okay, so after you finish row 11, so for the rest of the blanket, you're going to repeat rows 4 through 11 13 times to reach the length that's specified in this pattern. You can also keep going until you get the desired length that you want. If you want to make it a longer throw, you can do that. So if you want to add more repeat rows, that's rows 4 through 11. It will add about an extra 4 inches to the height of the blanket. Once you have completed all the repeat rows that you would like, go ahead and fasten off and weave in your ends. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out the other blanket patterns that I have linked down in the description below if you would like to find some new patterns to make for this winter.